Right.
This is so exciting.
Right.
Doing it. We're doing the Jeff Hilliard show is happening. I keep them coming.
Turn down my volume
Is it too high? Where are we at?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a bit loud in the cans. I'm a sensitive fella. Yeah.
Which one is the cans one, Kim? Which one do you think? This would be. Wouldn't that be the volume of the speaker, or what? But what's in the ear? Is it lower that way? Lower, lower, lower.
I think this might be the volume up here.
Someone knows how to work it.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's better. That's better. Yeah.
Now we're
just
good.
a little tweak.
So now we're doing great. Their faces are not covering up by the microphones. This is so amazing.
How's the posture?
Posture's looking great. You're looking fit.
Thanks, dude.
You're looking great.
Yeah, we're both looking great.
We're doing the show. I think I'm gonna start doing like a pre-intro, and then I just go right into it. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm just figuring out how to do my show, and people are suffering through it as I'm figuring it out, which has been really impressive.
I've suffered through a lot in my life, so I'm good to go. Yeah, I'm good to go.
Daniel grew up in England.
That's true. Yeah.
What the hell was that like? Being a nice English fella?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the city in London.
Yes.
And it was I'm a city boy, you know, and I went to boarding school when I was 9.
And that was gotta been a nightmare, right?
Yeah, I just had a flashback to when we did the podcast. You know, when I was here and you were talking about having tried to kill yourself. When I think when you're about 9 years old or something.
That's 3. That's my first suicide attempt. That's 3.
Younger, yeah. So I didn't have that experience, but I went to boarding school when I was 9 in the English countryside. So I had like quite a, you know, I came from a dysfunctional alcoholic home, but apart from that, I had quite, you know, quite
intense structure.
Yeah.
I think boarding school would have been pretty serious.
Boarding school was amazing. So I was away from home, you know.
Because the home was too chaotic.
Home was pretty chaotic. Yeah.
Is that because the parent dynamic? There was a whole thing going on.
The parent dynamic, the divorce, the alcoholism and stuff, and it was by my request that I wanted to go to boarding school.
You're like, get me the fuck out of here. You had the ability to go rescue me.
Yeah.
Was it was it the both or just one?
Both, actually. My dad was a budding cocaine addict.
Your dad is the best.
Oh, he's a lovely guy. He's a lovely guy. Yeah.
Daniel introduced me to his father, and then you showed him the cock that heals.
He loves the cock that heals. Yeah.
And how old is your father? Probably?
73 now.
73, and then he used to tell me he would show it at like meetings or something, or
he showed it at a few big meetings. I think he showed it to a big Chinese investor. Maybe. My dad's dog ejaculated on the same investor's pant leg as well. So
your father is a prominent, you know, important person.
He's a big deal in the entertainment business, you know. And I think like because lots of people in America, like around the entertainment stuff, there's a lot of fear and like, oh, we can't say that, we can't do that, and oh, this guy's really important, so we have to be on our best behavior. And I think where my dad's done quite well is he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, right? He's clearly,
he says the most inappropriate stuff at any given chance. You know?
Do you know what I just realized? We're doing the interview and the air conditioner is on. Go ahead, Kim. Kim is my squire for my knighthood.
My dad calls me squire.
That's good.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can pull that curtain over too.
That's way better, isn't it?
Yeah, now it sounds way better.
Fuck,
I have to start the whole goddamn thing over again.
That's all right. We're just getting warmed up.
The mess. It's like so growing up 9 years old in boarding school, mom and dad just out of control, fantastic. Keeping life interesting.
Yeah. But it was really good going to boarding school because I got to experience sort of freedom from that, you know,
structure
and being around you know, kids in a community. It was really cool. Mind you though, man, like in the wintertime, it got so cold that the ice, you would get frost inside of the window in the boarding school because they were a bit too cheap to keep the heat on. They only kept it on for little bits here and there.
Oh no!
And it was pretty, but it was also.
So this wasn't like a really nice. Was it like a prominent one? I would imagine you'd be at like a.
It was, but even the prominent ones were really sort of like medieval. You know,
they're still recovering from World War II mentality, where they're just kind of like they're gonna start bombing at any moment.
Pretty much, yeah. But I fell in love. That was the first time I fell in love when I was 11 years old with Zoe.
How did that? Wow, at 11. What grade is that? 11 years old. Do you remember?
I don't have grades in England, so it was something else.
Trying to place 11 years old is really young. You were really progressive.
Yeah. And I fell in love. It might have been 12.
You charmed her?
Yeah. I put the feelers out there to find out if she was interested.
Young love as a 12-year-old.
Yeah, we had a kiss behind the open air Shakespeare stage in a shed.
Wow.
I had a broken arm too. It was actually my left arm. And I'll tell you something interesting about my left arm. So I broke my left arm. I fell over when I was 12 years old. And it got really weak, my left arm. And when it healed up, by this time I'd figured out masturbation as well. And I hope it's okay to mention that.
Listen, there's the people watching this are probably deranged lunatics, I would imagine. If you're into my videos and stuff, I think they're okay with masturbation.
Incredibly well-grounded individuals.
They're the salt of the earth.
Exactly.
Life's finest gems, the ones that are interesting, the ones that you'd actually want to have a conversation with.
Those are the people I want to hang out with.
That's right.
So anyway, I used to be a righty, and I figured I could build up the strength in my left arm when it healed.
So that was like the first date.
And I've been a lefty ever since. No. I had it in a cast still, but like I've been a left-hand masturbator since the age of 12.
That's a unique thing. You're a right-hand man, and you do the left.
I can't even do anything with the right hand. It might as well be nothing. Yeah.
But so you write and stuff with your
right hand. I compose. I do the mouse thing, and
that's amazing.
When it comes down to snapping the carrot, it has to be lefty. Yeah.
This is the greatest thing about doing the podcast is I get to learn things about my friends that I would never ever have discovered. I mean, this is beautiful.
I didn't know I was going to talk about that tonight. Yeah.
You're like, thank God I got that out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first kiss behind the
open air Shakespeare stage where we did Shakespeare plays and stuff, and it was magical, man. Like I really.
So you feel you've been chasing that moment your whole life?
No, I lost touch with that. I want to get that back though. I want to get
the magic of the first
sweet
kiss,
innocence, that romance. Yeah, and I haven't felt that spark. You know, I did when I was younger, but I haven't felt it in a while now. I'd like to reignite that part of me. You know, bring the heart alive again.
Yeah. I mean, you would be like you could be like on the Bachelor. You would be a great Bachelor. Ooh. Not that I've ever watched that show, but
I haven't watched it.
Good-looking guy, accomplished.
Yeah.
Daniel how did you get involved in? Did you have a thing for music when you were a kid? Did you have a natural ability at some point?
I did. So my mum and dad were in the theatre business, and they used to take me to see musicals when I was growing up. And my mum had a piano in the house, and so I would come back and try and figure it out by ear when I got back to the house. And Mum was like, "We got to get you piano lessons," you know.
How old were you when this happened?
About 6.
Oh, cool.
And I started just hearing it and then playing sort of Phantom of the Opera on the piano. And not like greatly or anything, but just sort of stumbling my way through it. And I started doing piano lessons and really... but, you know, like when I got into drugs at 12 as well, 13.
On that first kiss.
I know, man.
Were the drugs, did they start before the first kiss?
They started soon afterwards. So, it was weed.
Is that like 7th grade? Is 12 years old like 7th grade? Okay, that makes sense. I was thinking way younger. Yes.
So and then I stopped practicing piano because I didn't think it was cool. I got really into rave music, and all I wanted to be was a DJ. And I used to go to these dingy warehouse raves in East London and this was when I was a bit older, but I was 15.
Was a big scene
it's huge. Yeah. And that's where I started doing other drugs.
That's when you got to dance. You just needed to dance.
Yeah, dance and drugs, dance and drugs. Yeah.
That'll do it to you.
I grew dreadlocks. I should have brought my dreadlocks with me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't even think of this.
Have you seen my dreadlocks?
No, I didn't know this. This is the most ridiculous thing. A white man with dreadlocks is just...
A white teenager.
That's not right. Yeah. That is not right.
And they were the real dreadlocks. They weren't sort of like those fabricated salon dreadlocks. They had beeswax and probably puke. And
how did you get inspired to get the dreadlocks? Were there other friends doing this?
Other friends, yeah. That's a very good intuition you had there. So there were other friends.
What did your dad think of this?
He said I looked like his great aunt Matilda or something like that. So yeah. But it was, man, it's the only thing I've still got from when I was 16, and these dreadlocks in a little cigar box.
Oh my God.
In my house, they're in my kitchen right now. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
So you were like, I'm going for Lenny Kravitz?
Lenny Kravitz, but more, so there was the whole Rasta thing, right? There was the Rasta thing.
Yeah.
But then there was these like sort of techno hippies.
Techno
hippies, all these like older techno hippies had dreadlocks. They were really skinny.
Were they like white guys?
White guys, white girls.
These are a lot of confused people.
I know. Well, that's what a lot of acid will do to you.
Oh my God.
I know. And I just like, I looked up to these people and I was like, that's what I want to be.
That's what I want to be.
That's what I want to be. So I got my dreadlocks.
They figured it out.
And I was accepted, I was the youngest one there though, because most of them were in their 20s and I was a 15-year-old,
They were looking out for you. This is like our young, you were a young squire.
But I did get some looks of sort of, what the fuck are you doing here? Because I was way too young to be doing that,
Do you have some amazing memories from this period of time? I can't even imagine.
I do actually.
And in England too, though, where people are just like, what are you like? That was part of it, though. When you're young, you're trying to figure your identity. It's a statement.
It's a statement, yeah.
Yeah. Now, were you into smoking weed though? Because that would kind of go with dreadlocks. I would think.
Yeah, I was a big weed smoker.
Yeah,
big weed smoker.
Now, were you a big Bob Marley fan, but like the remix version?
I did know. I like Bob Marley remix. Yeah, I did like Bob Marley, and I did like reggae, and I like the whole sort of Rasta culture. But my thing was more sort of like underground, dingy raves,
That's great. I bet you met a lot of interesting characters.
Oh, I did. Yeah. I was just thinking about that because I think the thing that got me, the thing that really attracted me to like the Rasta culture was just how chilled they were. And I've always been like a really intensely anxious person. And just seeing them sort of like everything was easy.
Now this makes sense.
Deal.
Okay, this makes sense.
We just smoke weed from morning to night, and we listen to reggae music, and we hang out in the sun. Because we.
So it's so chaotic at the home life.
Yeah.
Then the boarding school, and then you find like this is what I want because these guys have peace. I just got to get the dreadlocks, and then everything will calm down. Yeah. And you were self-medicating. This is amazing.
But the weird thing is we didn't really...
I
think it was more of a psychosomatic thing because it didn't really get me there.
No.
When I found heroin, that was a bit more of a relaxing
Now, how
thing.
old were you when you were doing that?
19.
Wow.
Weirdly enough, after I fell in love properly for the first time.
Did the girl get you into the heroin or?
No, she wasn't into it. And she, we broke up and my heart was completely broken.
Then you found the heroin.
I found the heroin.
How did you get into that world? Because that's a big, serious. Did you start smoking it at first?
I actually shot up a speedball
the
first time. I know.
That's usually not your way into it.
I know.
Wow,
it was going to be a one-time thing. So I was 19. I desperately needed to get sober, and I had a friend who was doing it. And I said, look, before I commit to sobriety, I just want to try this once.
Okay, so you were like heavy drinker.
Heavy user.
Weed, cocaine, probably MDMA.
Oh, yeah.
Or ecstasy back then.
Yeah.
All this stuff.
Yeah.
And then, were you into pain pills or something?
No, this is sort of my first intro into that world.
And you figure if I'm going to get sober, I should probably try this.
Yeah,
before.
And the crazy thing is I hated it as well.
I think that's the story, right? Everyone hates it at first.
I hated it, but there was something to it where I was like, I think I should probably do this a couple more times.
Just to make sure.
Yeah, even though I said it was just going to be the once.
And obviously you're not squeamish around needles and stuff because that's a big leap for a lot of people. But some people that's part of it.
Yeah, I was pretty squeamish around it, I have to say, but it was worth the risk to me. I know. Right?
Yeah, Daniel's been to some places.
Yeah,
Daniel has seen some things in life.
I've seen some things.
Yeah, I guess Jack Kerouac likes the mad ones, the people that have just gone for it. You've gone there. You've done it.
I've taken it as far as. I'm surprised to have a pulse right now, Jeff. I'm alive. I'm above ground.
And it's you're a lovely one. And a lot of times, people that are really lovely, that sometimes they don't survive. So it is amazing that you're still. Yeah. Still here.
No, I'm very grateful to be here, man.
Yes. And so you're 19, you're shooting up a few times, and then are you off to the races for
pretty much? The next 5 years was in and out of detoxes, rehabs. I had a little trip to a psych ward.
That's great.
And it was pretty gnarly.
Now, while you're doing this, are you doing the music, pursuing your own?
I am. I ended up in music college in Boston.
Oh, wow.
And so I went to my first 2 semesters there and had to drop out because of drugs. And then...
So you were gifted like in high school. Were you doing like music like a band at all, or you just kind of screwing around doing stuff?
I had a few like sort of backyard,
doing
like
the DJ stuff.
And I had a few bands. I was doing, I was stumbling through just to pass my music exams and stuff. But at the same time,
You had to get out. You were coming to America. You're getting out of London.
Yeah.
Why Boston?
I went to a really good music school out there, so I got into a really good music school, Berklee College of Music, and it was a great one.
That's not a joke.
It's no joke, yeah. And that's the thing. Like I was really miserable, man. You know, and I wasn't, you know.
Well, yeah, when you're coming on and off heroin, that's a tough thing to do. I guess it kind of works at first, right?
Yeah.
Like everything, and then it just starts becoming a lot of work. Because then seeking out heroin as a young whippersnapper. I mean, that's got. I'm sure you've met all of the characters in life.
I've met all of the characters in life. I think I've met all the characters in life. Yeah, yeah. I mean, what characters can we discuss, man?
I mean, some of the characters that are the heroin addicts that go everyone from the street person to like the high end.
Yeah. It's
a pretty diverse crowd.
Well, I tell you, the worst is the crackheads.
Yeah.
But what's worse than the crackheads is the crystal meth. Yeah,
the meth.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I only did it a couple of times because I couldn't find anything else. But
I'm glad that I didn't take to meth.
Yeah.
And I feel my heart goes out to all those people.
I know.
That's a tough scenario.
Yeah.
Like ripping your skin apart. CIA implant something in your eye. You got to keep the left eye closed because they can see through that. And there's aliens communicating to you. Then you have like the electronic old digital people that are terrorizing you.
Yeah.
And
then
fucking brutal. Okay, so that's
the first time I went into psychosis was on meth, actually. It was in Utah. And
what happened?
This
you were like
woman
up several
called
days?
Peaches I went to a rehab out there and decided to leave the rehab to get high, and I was looking for crack and heroin, and I could only find meth.
And who was Peaches?
Peaches was a meth dealer I met in a motel, and after 3 days I thought Peaches was potentially my mum, and then after 5 days I thought that I'd grown up in this small town in Utah, that was where I'd spent my whole life. Peaches was my mum, and this is where I spent my whole life. And thank God I got into detox day 5, man. It was crazy.
Wait, so Peaches is a meth dealer. Is she doing meth with you?
Yeah, Peaches is getting higher on her own supply.
Higher. And did you guys have like a sexual thing going on?
We didn't. No, Peaches was an older, very unattractive woman. Not that there's anything wrong with older women. I love older women, but she was just very unattractive. Yeah.
She'd been on the meth run for a long time.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so happy that I didn't end up in. I could be out there right now with Peaches. You know, in Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, music. So I mean, I've always loved music, man. I mean, so I've always had a passion for music. I've always had a fire in my belly about music, and I managed to come back after a few years of bouncing in and out. I came back to Berklee College of Music, got sober, and graduated, and then moved out to LA and got my first job out here.
And then did you come to LA first, or did you have a job that brought you here, or how did you?
I got an internship with a composer.
Oh, nice.
And so I worked for him for a few years.
Now, was your strategy that you wanted to do like film composition, or like do scores for films?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. And I never imagined that I would produce and write songs and stuff, but that's sort of where I ended up. You know.
And how did you? So you're working for the composer.
Yeah.
And then how did you start working with different artists and stuff? How did that come about?
It didn't come about for about 5 years, and I started doing a lot of instrumental music, which I was selling to pitch companies to go and pitch it for TV shows and films and stuff like that. And then at the time, my best friend went out with this girl called Lizzie, and this was when I was in school in Boston. And Lizzie is a sweet, beautiful girl who would play songs on her guitar for me and her boyfriend every now and then. I was just enthralled by her, you know. And she would come out to LA, and I didn't know that she was really into music, and you know, because she was a model. But she kept coming out to LA on these writing trips, and she would stay with me. And I used to play her my little bits of instrumental music, and she was like, "Oh my God, this is so pretty!" And she would play me some of her songs, and I'd be like, "That's so beautiful." And I would say maybe about 7 years into being in LA, I wrote a hit single with this
girl.
Yeah,
the first person that you ever like
write a proper song with. Yeah.
Wow, what was this?
It was called Blue Jeans, and
Blue
Lizzie
Jeans.
went from being Lizzie to Lana Del Rey
around
the same time. And
yes, I did know this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The
really
first person that you ever.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know.
Well, you know, is that funny? At one time when we sat down to try, we were doing a song, and you just touched the keyboard, and I knew that you had worked with Lana Del Rey. I was like, oh my God, her sound.
Well, yeah.
Just from you,
wow.
you just played like one thing, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It was, a lot of people that aren't in the music world, I kind of am in music, but I know that from a different...
You're really in music, dude. I mean, your stuff's amazing.
Well, I know, like different musicians that play, just their touch.
Yeah.
And I don't get it, but you can tell certain people that it's them playing the instrument from how they do phrasing and their tone. I don't know if I'm crazy, but there's something to that. But it was incredible. Like, you put the hands on the keyboard, and I was like, you did like a couple things, and I was like, I could hear her whole thing through that.
Wow, that's crazy.
But I don't,
that's
probably just sounds nuts, but it was kind of fascinating.
It doesn't.
So wow, what was this ride like? You work with her, and I remember when she first came out, I was actually working on, I was recording I think The Good Life, or I was with a friend of mine,
I love The Good Life.
That music video of her first ones came out, and one of the friends didn't get it, and I saw it, and I was like, she's going to be massive.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to be huge. And she had a whole unique thing, and it was, and she's very, very talented. Yeah. So what was that like? I can't imagine, like, the experience of, you're going to want to compose for films and stuff. You work for this girl who's talented. You guys do a song, and then it takes off.
Yeah.
What is this ride like?
Well, at first,
Did you think it? Did you know it? Did you feel it, like, when you were doing it, or you're just like, oh, this is cool?
No, I just thought, this is cool. This is nice. And then she just said, the head of Interscope loves it, and he wants to make her like a priority, and she's just sign this massive record deal. And there weren't that many massive record deals happening anymore. And she told me this was this big record deal, and I still because I've been in LA for maybe 7 or 8 years at this point, and I'd sort of heard like a lot of stuff like this is going to be massive, this is going to be big, and I guess I was a bit jaded at this point, so I was like, well, it doesn't really mean anything, this, what you're talking about. And then she became huge, man. She became massive, and I really had to sort of like fight my way into like working with her, like when she became huge, because I wasn't like an established writer or a producer, and so I really had to like work really hard, man. I mean, I was in the studio 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, just sort of working on my craft and getting ideas out, and like really working on my string arranging and production. And it was wow. It became my world,
Because then you guys did like a song I remember you did a song for a movie that got nominated for a Grammy, right? Or
a Golden Globe, yeah.
Golden Globe.
Yeah.
Did you win a Golden Globe? You got nominated.
No, it got nominated.
What the hell? What is it like going to the Golden Globe?
I was so nervous, man.
Because you're afraid you're going to go up on stage and do like a speech or something?
Yeah.
That was like
somebody's always struggled with anxiety. It's like, please don't win, please don't win.
I don't want to win because I don't want to have to deal with that whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That is.
I went up to her before at the award ceremony. Said, look, if we win, you got to do the talking. So I was just gonna stand up there super awkward. I mean, I had a few pictures taken me at the Golden Globe ceremony, man. I looked like a scared monkey. Like proper terrified.
Wow.
Anxiety, God, man. God bless it, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Just the whole head game, just like.
I know.
Spinning about nothing that is so silly. Anything. That means yeah. Wow. So I can't imagine how excited, because in Los Angeles there's so many people that come here and things. Sometimes they work out and they work out so well, and then some people it never materializes. How they obviously hoped. So. Yeah. The even to have an opportunity to work as a producer, to work with someone who has any kind of a hit song or any kind of commercial success is somewhat, it's a massive accomplishment.
Oh,
you realize how many people are trying to do that.
I know.
Insane.
I know.
Well, it's funny, like how much of a phenomenon she was. I remember I was out to dinner and she was there at a restaurant, and these these girls on a table next to us were fucking losing their mind.
Oh yeah.
Like, just like they couldn't believe they were in a restaurant with her, and just like how they couldn't control themselves.
Oh yeah.
Like
the ladies love her, man.
Yeah, she's got a whole.
yeah. Like, and her fans are like so devoted, man. Like they're like, she's got like a really good fan base, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what are some of the memories of, how many songs did you guys do together?
Quite a few, man. I think we did about 15 together, maybe.
Wow.
You know, actually, weirdly enough, I just heard from her. We don't talk that much anymore, but she just sent me a text before I got in here. And we're gonna do a little something together. This old song, gonna revive it. You know.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, if she ever wants to do a duet,
I'll send it. I'll send it this way. I don't see why not, man. She should be so lucky.
That would, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I joked around with her about doing something. I remember. I don't know. She's funny though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I've met her a few times. She said I was at the chateau one time, out in the back smoking a cigarette, and
when
she
did you
came
quit
out
smoking, by the way?
a long time ago.
That's great. Yeah.
And she was sitting next to me, and
did you have the mullet and the stash then, though?
no, I
See,
just
that's the
had the
problem.
I think I had what did I have going on at that time? I think I had a crazy beard. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
It's hard because I'm not aware of what's going on the outside until I look in the mirror, and then because now I have this like super creeper.
It's really scary.
And it doesn't even look. You can't even see in the camera, but it's. I have to put black eyeliner on it and I've dyed the hair black for the character.
I like the black hair, dude. Yeah.
I was in the fucking Trader Joe's and I had like the mask on, and this lady's like, she goes, she's like, you work in music, right? You're like in a band.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I wanted to tell her like I'm in a cover band. We do Nick Cave covers. Yeah. It's like some really sad.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's the hair. The dyed black hair is like I'm trying to hold on to something I wanted to have in the 90s.
Dude, that's wonderful. You got to, man. You got to keep it alive, you know? Right?
Yeah, there's a guy, I think we both know. I'm not going to say his name, but he's got the dyed black hair, and he's got like this like nice, perfectly like the sideburns shave, like the lot of work on the facial hair where you're spending an enormous time like getting it right.
I might know who this is.
Yeah, that was kind of some of the inspiration of like with the black for putting together the character for Silicone Wave music video, which will be coming out sometime next month, which we're very
I'm very excited about. Have you made love with the lady yet?
I did. I was doing the podcast, and I kept getting asked by everyone I know if I had sex with Stacy, and I was like, and we were getting ready to do the podcast like as a day, and I'm like, I had no idea what I was going to talk about when I would have Jake be my Ed McMahon co-host, sit there and listen to me just rant about stuff, and so I did it, and I'll tell you what, man.
To completion.
Yeah, it was
well done.
Yeah,
man.
It was better than I thought because my expectations were low, but it was also there's a creepy element to it that is. It's like if you were. It's an inanimate object. It's very heavy. It's a lot.
I felt her.
Yeah, it's like you're having. It's like
it's very strange.
Yeah, if you're like a necrophiliac, this could be the
That's the one.
Necrophiliac.
That's what you got
into
thing
here. Or instead of being a necrophiliac, you could just have. But when the sex dolls start moving around and stuff, the whole world's it's gonna get weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the future is gonna be. Very strange.
Yeah, it's already getting strange. It's already getting a bit strange, you know.
So, what? I know you've worked with a bunch of different artists. You've scored different movies and stuff, and all of this excitement. Now, I know at some point you were planning on doing like your own music and doing like DJ stuff.
Oh yeah, like reliving that teenage dream.
You're gonna bring back the dreadlocks. I mean,
I could glue them back on. You know.
I mean, I can help put together some costuming for you.
Yeah.
I can help you a nice presentation. Yeah.
So I've got a project, an electronic dance project called Monkey Love.
Nice.
But I'm changing the name, I think, to Prana Lama. And I think it would do well in sort of, the sort of like conscious sort of dance festivals where they like lightning in a bottle, where they have like yoga and breathwork classes and lots of live music and dance stuff and that Burning Man sort of crew.
Yeah, you would dominate in that world.
Oh, man, and I want to. I just keep getting sidetracked from it, because I'm not getting paid any money to do it, and I'll get like gigs will pop up which I have to tape, so I need to earn money but I want to get back into it.
Get back into it.
Yeah. And it's very cool. Like it's very like earthy sounding. It's very sort of dancey. it's very psychedelic, and people have responded really well to it,
You're brilliantly talented.
Well, thanks, dude.
This is Daniel. Daniel's got skills.
He's got the mad
okay,
skills,
so you had the struggles with addiction.
Yes.
And then you've how many rehabs did you gone to?
About 20 something rehabs. Yeah. That's the thing, Jeff. Like
can you imagine just like someone watching this or listening to this, like how is someone that's so gifted and so talented in and out of 20 different rehabs, but able to continually bounce back? Thank God. You've been sober for a bit now.
3 years. Yeah.
That's great.
So it's wonderful. And this time I didn't go through rehab. But
now you're a pro. You could actually run a rehab.
I know. That should be. I should do that actually.
No.
But when you once I unleashed once the tiger's out the cage, man, it's really hard to put the tiger back in the cage. And I think my thing has always been like, just go back into rehab and I'll be okay. Just go back into rehab and
when you're out there, you're not just like, hey, I have this boxed wine problem in the fridge.
No.
You are. Like, what are you doing when you're out there?
Oh, like injecting drugs in like motel rooms in South Central, like an English sort of like middle to upper class, like boarding school boy in South Central shooting drugs in his neck, with fucking hardened drug addict criminals, it's yeah.
And you're just like, and I've worked with some superstar.
Yeah. But still really sweet. Like I was always a really sweet person.
Yeah, you are always lovely.
Even when I was out there, like So
they just got to get a load of this lovely fella. That's nice.
Just being a nice guy out there.
It probably makes it you're able to navigate things somewhat.
I think so, because I wasn't like a dick.
You weren't coming with an aggressive thing. No, you were always, which is what everyone wants anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you ever gonna do like a memoir of like the tales and stories of the adventures that you've been on?
Some of it's a bit blurry, but I wanted to get like a bit more grounded before I do that, because I still, I'm still quite wiry and still quite anxious, and I wanted to get in more of a grounded spot.
Because you could probably tell some tales that people would not even believe.
Oh man,
are possible.
Yeah. I mean, I had this one time. I just thought this one time, but I was in Mexico on a drug run. It's sort of like half drug run, half suicide run. So I didn't think I was coming back from it, and I was just like, I'm just gonna go until the wheels fall off, And it didn't happen, But like did you ever see the film Gladiator?
Yeah.
Where he's dead, but he's floating over the field, and then he comes back, or he has this dream, but it's because he's dead and he's floating over the field. And that happened to me in Ensenada in Mexico, in a druggy type camper van, and I had purchased a lot of ketamine, which I injected, and I had that experience. And then I got pulled back into my body through a thread, which I've heard, like a golden thread.
Do you think you died?
I think I did, yeah.
And you did the whole...
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
There was that one time you were... Did you masturbate with something that was... What was that story you told me?
Oh, man. Really? We're going to share about it here?
Maybe not. Maybe that...
It's heavy, man. It's a heavy
really
story.
Funny.
Yeah.
Maybe that was too much. I was thinking of making it as a short film.
The moral of the story is don't masturbate with dog shampoo, even if it says organic dog shampoo. Yeah. Don't masturbate, because I read some articles after the fact, saying never masturbate with shampoo. Never do
not
it.
Good for you.
And this was the day before I got sober. This was it for me.
You were in a desperate situation. You were just trying to make yourself feel better. And
well, I'll tell you what. If it was me who that happened to, theoretically, what I've heard is that it can make your penis look like a sunburnt anteater. Like a.
Because you ended up in like the ER.
Like a mole that's been left out in the sun for weeks, with no water. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's right. You did that, and you ended up in an ER.
Well, I wasn't in the ER for that. I was in
to try to get
urgent
sober.
care.
Urgent care.
I went to an urgent care, and the doctor gasped. Yeah, she's a really attractive young doctor. She was really good looking.
I've defiled myself.
Yeah, she was like, "Let me see what happened," and I was like, "Oh, I mean, talk about shame, man. Oh, But that was a long time ago. You do crazy stuff when you shoot cocaine.
Yeah, you're shooting cocaine in your neck or whatever the hell.
Yeah, any way you can get it. Yeah. So
Jesus, thank God that you didn't end up a casualty out there.
Well, so what was crazy is 5 days before this happened, I was actually sober, and I had read a random article about some guy's dick who went gangrenous, and he left it too long, and by the time it got to the hospital, they had to amputate his penis. And so that was fresh in my mind, that story. Yeah.
That was in your story, and then you had your experience.
Yeah, and I had the experience with that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I must have been putting it out, and I must have manifested it.
Yeah, well, it started. I mean, I guess it started out with the left hand.
Left-handy, yeah.
Yeah, because the broken, you were still strengthening that left arm.
Yeah, shoot drugs with the right hand.
And then crank it with the left.
Crank it with the left, yeah.
Good Lord. And what are some of what kind of scenarios have you seen out there?
Oh, God. I mean, just every, I think everything you can imagine.
Because you'd have money coming in.
I had money coming in from royalties, although I signed over power of attorney to my family, because in a moment they said, you know, do you want to do this? And I was like, yes, because I thought it'd be a real commitment to my sobriety. But I found other ways to get loaded, you know, like I would just apply for.
Because what a difficult situation. You were able to participate in like hit songs. And then you have addiction, and then you have all this. You have money coming in, and that's probably the worst place you can be as an addict, is having access to resources. Because then it's like. God.
But it became harder and harder to get access to resources because I made it hard for myself. So it was really tricky, you know. I mean, my card had $100 limit on it, you know, so I couldn't. So even if I wanted to, it was, you know, I had to, you know. At one time I applied for a loan at Wells Fargo, and I just had to do stuff to try and bypass the, you know, and then my business manager, my accountant, had to freeze my credit so I couldn't apply for any loans or payday loans or anything like that, because I would just
I remember one time I was trying to get sober, and I got a prescription to Antabuse. Yeah. So I was like, if I could just have a week where I wasn't drinking, and I remember I was trying to drink on it. Oh, like that bad, level apparently. Of like. Like insanity. Yeah. Like you're doing everything you can to stop, but you can't. And you're even working all these angles to make it so you can't do it.
Did you get very sick?
I did. You start immediately trying to throw up. So it's hard to keep. I mean, there's no way I could have continued to drink on it. It's immediately like. Yeah. But that's how the madness of all of that. Wow. And so
we're not in that madness.
No, I've been sober for almost like over 16 years for not drinking and doing drugs. And amazing.
Oh, I broke off a needle in this arm once. Did I tell you that?
No.
Yeah, I broke off a needle in the arm.
I know there's been moments where you thought you broke a needle off.
Well, that's the thing, because after I broke that off, I had psychosis where I thought that needles were floating around in my body.
Oh my! How the hell do you get a needle? You had to go to the ER, and they had to
go to the ER and fish it out. Yeah.
How the hell did it break off? You passed out on it?
No, I was just trying to, you know, just get it in there, and you know, and I was trying to pick it. Oh, it's gross, really gross. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't even imagine the nightmare of being
It was pretty next, and still, like you said it before, but I'm still recovering from that.
You're coming from all the trauma.
It's intense, dude.
You've been in like Vietnam. You've been like on like the front lines of a battle.
I know the battlefield. Yeah. So my nervous system is still sort of like, what's is it?
Now you've done everything. You've done everything work to get any kind of calm or sanity. I know you're doing the cold plunges.
I do that every day.
Which I was at a job up north, and this amazing lady it was cold, and there was a river, and she would get down there every morning and cold plunge, and I thought of you, and I was just in awe of this skill set, which I've thought about it a lot.
Oh man, you got to come by for an ice plunge.
I might be at the point where I could almost get into that. Yeah,
I think it's.
Do you have a pool though? That you just have the cold plunge.
You just do the cold plunge, and then you can warm up a bit afterwards. Do some push-ups or do some sort of, you know, get the body moving. You know. So I do that. I do breath work. I do meditation, and this is an everyday thing. You know.
Wow.
So.
Do you feel that all of that work has? Because you obviously have PTSD.
Yes, that's true.
You clearly have, and do you think that could have come from childhood?
And I think it started there, but then I made it a lot worse on myself when I was older.
Trying to cathartically heal yourself with creating insane situations to feel calm.
Well, because what's weird about the PTSD thing is, like, say for instance, if I'm watching like John Wick 3, you know, Great fucking
Great
film.
movie.
Yeah.
The art direction,
Wicks.
yes, brilliant. A big fan.
I just mellow the fuck out. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
You know, all that craziness and insane. I'm just like, you know, if it's like some art house sort of film set in the south of France in French, panic attack.
Because it's too calm and the thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they like. The people that would come back from war and stuff.
Yeah.
The calm made them crazy, so they need really intense stuff. That's why they would put themselves in, like they become police officers or something, really high stress situations.
Yeah.
That's part of the whole PTSD trauma thing.
Yeah, and it makes sense to me. You know, it makes sense. And so what I've been practicing lately is I do transcendental meditation, and that's really difficult, man. But like I do it religiously now. I do it twice a day, and I'm actually starting to experience some benefit from it as well.
Oh, do you do the whole thing where you like start, you kind of nod out and you like fall asleep, and then you kind of wake yourself back and forth like that, and it's just exploding with.
I really want that. I haven't got there yet, but what I have got to is where I'm not having a panic attack while I sit down and meditate, which is huge. So
TM is great. That really helped me. I went through a traumatic situation. I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast. I think maybe I have. Who knows? I don't even remember what I've said or haven't. But one of the things I got to do. I was doing a radio show for the David Lynch Foundation, and so I was able to do the TM training.
Yeah.
And, it was really helpful because I was having anxiety attacks all day long.
Oh yeah, I know how that is. Yeah.
An unbelievable nightmare. But through doing all the stuff, through the meditation, exercise, having a support group, getting massages, that helped me when I would have an anxiety attack. I would get a massage and immediately just would get grounded.
That's great.
That was one thing.
Well, dude, you've been a big inspiration to me because you've really experienced PTSD and chronic panic attacks and anxiety attacks and
nightmare.
And so you've helped me hugely just by saying, hey, I don't have that anymore, but I did for a while. You know?
And to know that there was hope.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that I was ever going to come out of it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of insane when you're walking places, you're driving, you think someone's calling your name and they're not. And you're going like, oh my God, man. I am a crazy person.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't regulate my emotions. I would get in an intense situation and I would be so irritated. I would be yelling at someone, which was never my demeanor or anything, but I had that level of just
fight, flight. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you see people, I was down scouting a music video. I was helping work on a music video and we were downtown and we were looking at a location and this, person came by yelling and screaming and stuff like they were in an intense argument, and then it took a second, then you realized that they were like a homeless street person.
Yeah.
So then we were around the corner, and then this lady flies down with like a carry-on bag, and she's like, "Fucking you!" and and she's not talking. She's in her own world. And then we were around another corner, and there was another person in a situation, and I was just thinking like, there's all these people that are in constant trauma loop, and our society doesn't set up a situation to support that, or even they'd all talk about the mental awareness or whatever, but that is like pretty much all the madness we see through is because people are not able to, they have trauma inside of them and they don't have a way to process it, I'm sure the technology is going to come farther and farther with understanding how to do that and fix someone's brain.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Well, there's some
you've come a long ways.
Yeah.
Right?
I've come a long ways. Yeah. I mean, I haven't slept well the past couple of nights, so I'm feeling a bit afraid today. But I've come a long ways.
What are all your tricks that you've learned from all this madness?
Really, I think like the best one. Well, they've all helped at certain.
Because you've worked really, really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, you've done everything from like the exercising like a madman to the cold plunges to like breath work, the
plant medicine,
everything.
So somatic experiencing was good for a while. That's where they, it's a therapy, but it talks directly to your body. So you sort of release stuff in the body and everything. It's not really talk therapy, but you come into the body a lot. And you're just like, where do you feel that in your body? Here. You start conversing with different parts of your body, and then I did
because that's where your body holds trauma in different areas, and you know this because if you've had a radical traumatic experience, I had to do EMDR, and you would feel where the trauma is, which no one usually has self-awareness of what the hell's going on. So that's where we're carrying trauma in places.
And it still lives in my body today. But like, I mean, I did this one really crazy thing, which I'm not sure how much it helped, but I got this treatment called Cambo, where you get little holes burnt in your skin, and then they put frog poison on it, and it's and it makes you. Oh, you've heard about it. I threw up. I mean, I purged. I mean, it makes your whole face sweat, and it's not psychoactive. It doesn't get you high.
Oh my God.
And I might actually be doing it again in March.
Really?
Yeah. And so
you did like the ayahuasca thing?
I did the ayahuasca thing, which was beautiful, man.
And how many times have you done that?
Just once.
And that's like a 4-hour, 5-hour...
5-hour thing, yeah. But you know, the most beautiful thing about that was towards the end of it, and like at the end of the day, what I was always looking for in drugs and sex and any of that stuff was just sort of to feel connected, you know, and to feel safe. You know, which is crazy that I would be shooting cocaine into my neck in a motel room. I totally
get it. It's trauma.
Yeah.
And you want to feel calm.
Yes.
And a lot of people do, there's a whole thing where people do like really risky behavior and do stuff because that madness makes them feel calm. And that's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
From all the people riding the motorcycles like crazy people, to the people skydiving, to the people participating in climbers.
Yeah.
High stress situation. I've learned all this stuff from my own personal, because I was a nut job. I would do stand up as I was drunk every night. Not I would do stand up sober, but then I would get drunk every night, and then drive my motorcycle from gig to gig. Which all that is like insanity. You're driving drunk every night on a motorcycle, and I totally feel calm and normal because it actually you just everything becomes calm.
Yeah.
And it's like.
Dude, no, it's
so, and you know you're nuts.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing is completely out of control, but you're functioning.
Yeah.
It's
working. I
working.
Stop myself as well. Yeah. And so the beautiful thing about the ayahuasca ceremony is it was quite intense during, but then as it was wearing off, I burst into tears about like how much I was loved and how much I had people lighting the path for me and how much I was a part of, and I felt safe and I felt loved and I felt complete in that moment. And that's it's like I'm saying it like this was over a year ago now, but that lives in me, that experience, you know. And it's a really good reference point for coming back to that and knowing that is sort of my birthright, is to feel safe, to feel connected, to feel loved, you know. And it was the most surreal, beautiful thing. Yeah. It was gorgeous. Wow. It was gorgeous, man. And it's, you know, it's like a sort of taboo thing in sobriety to talk about that. But I sort of have this mentality right now where my healing comes before any of that shit, you know. So my healing comes before what somebody might say, you know.
I get it. Especially if you're having your major trauma, PTSD. Yeah. So
they're doing MDMA trials now. With,
and psychedelics or all that stuff. Yeah. There was my girlfriend was on the internet on Facebook, and someone she knew was saying he was going to kill himself or thinking about it, and I'm like, just have this person smoke DMT. Yeah. Just do like a massive. If you're thinking you're depressed and you're thinking you want to kill yourself, what you do is you just do and I'm not a doctor. There's probably have a professional, but if you were going to do something really drastic, like shoot up a school or do something crazy, before you do that, you should be required by law to have a massive dose of DMT, because then you would just go, "Oh wow, I think I'm cool. I think everything's okay. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I don't want to hurt myself or anybody else." Just grateful to be here right now.
I think it's so true. Because if you think about all that shit, it's just so true. Like I in my back pocket, I have, if I ever do get suicidal, because I was suicidal at one point when I was younger, when I was 21. If I get suicidal or I'm seriously considering drugs again, I'm going to take myself off to the Amazon rainforest, dude. Yeah. And live with a tribe for a while and drink a buttload of ayahuasca.
That'll really set you straight.
I think so.
I've never done the ayahuasca. I have done the DMT. Yeah. I was at a very dark place 5 years ago. And I did the whole thing, and it really was, for me, a major breakthrough. Yeah. It helped me open my heart. It made me, because I had this thing when I thought when you I figured, well, if you die and it just goes completely black, why am I fighting so hard to just exist? And I was so and then I knew that from my friend talking about the DMT, the experience that when you die, your body releases that, and then the whole process. And I researched a lot of it, and I talked about it, and people had done it, and then I did it, and it really made me. It put things in real perspective.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You leave your body, you feel yourself die, you're shot into what I think like the Buddhists call like maybe the bardo or whatever place. Possibly you're either maybe reconnected, you're maybe reincarnated or whatever. Who knows? I don't claim to know, but it was more real than reality and unbelievably terrifying, unbelievably beautiful.
Oh yeah.
A whole, like there's a lot more going on than this that we see.
Yeah.
And then like I think of like I know this sounds nuts, but like these people that have been like they've been abducted by aliens or they had near life death experiences or whatever. I wanted to hear the people that had like the death experiences. Yeah. I want to hear them talk to people that have done DMT, and if any of them have ever had a near death experience and then also done DMT, and if there was similar experience to that. Because I mean that's the big question I think anyone alive is, what happens after this? Is there something else? Yeah. What the fuck is this all about?
Man, it really fascinates me, that question, dude. I mean, I'm really, I mean, I want to give up trying to know or trying to figure it out. But man, you know, because like when I was in Costa Rica, I did, you know,
well, we're all going to find out.
I know, we're all going to find out. But it's so, you know, like Ram Dass says, we're all just walking each other home, you know, and I, you know, like I don't, but you're right, we're all going to find out. But when I was in Costa Rica, I did something called 5-MeO DMT, which is it's called bufo, where you smoke it's a different it's a toad, and you smoke the secretion of the toad. And this was after having frog poison in me for 3 days, and that was the most beautiful experience. I mean, like I was shot up into the cosmos.
I'm definitely going to do that.
Oh, it's
I'm
insane.
I don't know if I'm ready yet, but I definitely. I think it's. I know in a lot of cultures it's so crazy when you study the history of all this stuff, all these different like, you know, like like tribes where they would blow that, like when their baby is born, they go on like a psychedelic adventure and stuff. Like it's like you're welcome to the world. It kind of remembers where you're from. I don't really know, but it's so a part of so many cultures for so many thousands of years. Yeah. And in our society it was, you know, illegal and now it's coming back.
In the 60s, now it's coming back. Yeah.
But I think it's very helpful for people. But some people I think could do psychedelics or whatever, and they could end up. I think it could turn them. They could have a psychotic experience. Oh yeah. They could end up becoming like maybe a schizophrenic. I don't know. Yeah. But I think if anyone's struggling with.
Well, anyway, that's my last ditch thing. Like, if things that ever did get, you know, I don't want to lose perspective to the point where I use drugs again or I try and kill myself. You know, like there's other, like what you said about your girlfriend's, you know, this person who reached out. You know,
she was. This guy says online. I was like, God, if you were to, before you did that drastic, if it was like, no, like that was part of the suicide hotline. They had like a team show up, like in a like a Scooby-Doo van, and they have they have like a DMT shaman or whatever. Wait, before you off yourself, try this. Yeah, and then they're like, you know what? I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I think I'm gonna. I think I'm just gonna. I've taken stuff way too personally, too seriously.
I mean, God.
I didn't realize that I have I have so much love that's been given to me, and then I just have to give that back. I just have to be respectful to myself and other people. Yeah. And it's kind of beautiful when you do all of that stuff, how all things will come together. Yeah. You'll attract the right people in your life. Yeah. I know for me it was a profound thing, and I know that we can manifest stuff in a good way and a bad way if we don't have if our head is right. Yeah. You know?
It is true that, you know.
I do believe that. I do believe that we can somehow co-create a reality to some extent. You know what I mean? Like if I put myself in the right energy, I'm going to attract better things in my life. And if I'm in a different situation with someone where I'm in a negative space or whatever, I'm going to create madness.
It is true that it is true, which is difficult sometimes with, what's always scared me about that sort of stuff, because I always have struggled with anxiety and PTSD to some degree, or other throughout my life. It's hard sometimes hearing that you need to align energetically for this to all sort of make sense or to co-create.
Yes.
But
because you haven't been able to be there, because you haven't been able to figure energy out, because you're going through trauma. You're having like fucking anxiety attacks all day long. Like, what are you talking about?
But the beautiful thing is a bit like there's another side to that, because it's like I believe that this universal consciousness or God or higher power or whatever, all the efforts I've made and all the things that I do and all the things that I do to try and get in the flow and to try and let go and to to surrender more and to love more and like all that stuff, all this stuff, it's the efforting is and the actions are there, and every day like I get to experience that, just connected to my heart again, just for a little bit. Some days it's more than others, Lately it's been happening more than it's been happening more than it was 6 months ago for sure, But I'm on a quest, man. I'm on a quest to come from my head into my heart, because that's, I've never felt more like myself when I'm truly in my heart, Everything else can go and fuck itself, because it doesn't mean anything, It's just.
So have there been like activities or things you've done that you feel you're in, like I guess like the flow, or you feel like you're in? Do you have those experiences? What are you doing?
Ecstatic dance is another one.
Oh, I love this.
That's a good one. So it was. Have you ever done it before? Oh, I love it. Have you ever done it?
I think I've just lived an ecstatic dance.
Okay, well, you're fine then. You're good to go. So ecstatic dance is incredible. So it was happening. It's a pandemic right now, but they were doing it outside every week last year, and that was like my one time where I was guaranteed to sort of drop in out of my head and into my body. And you want it for somebody who struggles with social anxiety, with PTSD, to put on like a pair of headphones and move
just
like a crazy person and dance. You would have thought that would arouse a whole bunch of anxiety, and instead
you're like, dude, I'm the dude with dreadlocks.
I came into my body too. I know. I came into my body and I was just like, oh my God, man, this is beautiful. This is so beautiful.
Wow.
Another thing is like tears as well. So I think like crying is a good portal into like heart stuff,
Well, this is me. So you just, I like the idea. I like where this is going. So ecstatic dance. Yeah. So you're going to have to create the music to create this ecstatic dance, to give this to other people.
Well, that's the whole point about Monkey Love.
Yes.
Is to really connect people
and your own personal journey.
Yes.
You're creating this.
Yes.
This is very beautiful.
Yeah. And it's sort of gotten lost a tiny bit, but I've played 2 gigs with it and I want it to do well. And I've got this whole mission statement for it as well. Like this is meant for this, it's meant to be fun. It's meant to be for the bold, for the anxious, for the depressed, for the lovers, for the haters, for everybody. It's for this is meant to connect, because man, especially being in LA as well, it's pretty disconnected out here.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. Yeah, it can be.
Yeah,
there's also a lot of really beautiful, talented, incredible people, but there's also like a whole layer of disappointment and. I think people's intentions are wrong, but I think if you're like a real artist, not because you wanted to be, but because you kind of had to be, because you're trying to cathartically heal. You're trying to fix yourself just to function. Like I know if I'm not creatively working on something, I'm gonna be I'm gonna go into a self-destructive mode.
Oh yeah.
So I know that when I do the stuff I'm doing, I am actually healing myself. And I'm creating these like crazy weird characters so that I don't become them or whatever. I'm making fun of things in life about myself, other things. So I'm taking energy, understanding it, and letting it go.
We're transmuting it, which is beautiful. Yeah.
And then the fact that you have the ecstatic dance, and that's a healing thing, and then going down that road to what you're healing yourself, but you're going to help other people heal.
That's it, yeah. And I always forget that when I'm doing music, because it feels a bit self-serving or a bit like, oh, this is just so I can become famous or important or anything like that.
Well, you should do it. You should do it with you should get like the the Daft Punk thing, whatever. You got like,
I know.
You should get like the helmet. You can't or something like that.
That was going to be Monkey Love was going to be an anonymous thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
Because that would be kind. Well, I don't know. To be anonymous, to be independently wealthy and anonymous would be the best way to go through life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for
Yeah.
but not anymore, because now everybody is like everybody now is like some famous person, so now it just doesn't even matter.
I know, what's up with that, dude? It's pretty crazy. I know you went on a rant with it with our friend Jacob a few months back, but
Did I go on a rant where everyone's
just like the narcissism on social media and like all this stuff, you know?
It's a lot to take in.
It's a lot to take in, yeah.
If you're taking yourself seriously, you got to be out of your mind.
I know.
Like everything I'm doing, I'm like laughing at how stupid it is, but that's kind of why I have to make it fun. I have to. That's one of my only coping skills I have to do to life is that I'm making myself laugh by pretending to be whatever ridiculous because I'm either seeing it and I don't. It's cool if people are laughing at me because that's what we're doing here. Yeah, I'm playing the fool. I'm in on the joke. It's totally it's safe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a guy with a fucking super creeper mustache right now, and
it's a beautiful mustache.
Wow, and the fucking dyed black mullet. Like, what is this guy doing?
That's the thing as well, Jeff, is ladies don't know what to do with themselves when they see you. You know, it's true.
Yeah,
it's
well,
true.
Hopefully they don't get, they feel safe. That's all we're concerned about.
Magnet, right?
That's all right. I'm not available though. I have a lovely girlfriend,
and that makes you even more desirable as well. You know, women are losing their minds over you out there, man. Jumping off cliffs.
I don't know if I knew that. Yeah, they're seeing this like guy that looks like a fucking just a circus clown.
Man, no, I wouldn't say that. Yeah,
I can't wait for you to see this stuff we've shot.
Man, I can't wait to see it as well.
I have some new music. I can't wait for you to hear. I'm so excited that you came through to be on the podcast.
I wasn't expecting to talk about some of the stuff we talked about, especially with the old dog shampoo, you know.
Oh, I should have brought that up.
No, that's fine. It was a
really funny story. When you tell the story,
yeah.
I don't think we did any justice though.
No.
But it is a lovely. That's how bad it gets if you're out there.
Yeah.
You could end up in urgent care
thinking that your penis is going to fall off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did start off with the left-handed thing.
We did, yeah. I opened up that gate, didn't I? It was me who started talking.
It's
about
okay.
That.
We did. We got the whole thing full circle.
Yeah,
the idea of you in dreadlocks with ecstatic dancing, it started there and it's gone full circle. Like you've gone through all of this stuff to get back to there.
Found my way back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to. What else should we talk about? Anything else I should be?
I don't know.
Talking about?
I don't think so. I'm just happy to spend time with you. You know, you're one of my favorite people.
You're one of mine.
Yeah.
And we got to get is your dad coming back out?
Not with COVID right now, but I think at some point you should get him on the show, man.
I would love that.
Oh God, he'd kill it.
That would be incredible.
He loves telling stories, and he's such a good storyteller, man.
Your dad is aces. Your dad is fantastic.
Yeah. If you remember, get him to tell the joke about the monkey.
Okay.
It's a great joke.
I have to get a lot of guests on here.
Yeah. Who else you got in the pipeline?
Well, I have people that said they would do it. I shouldn't say it on here because then if they don't happen, it would
somebody.
So
you got some people.
I have a lot of people that, and I thought it'd be funny. I had someone said like, why don't you have, you know, I've only had men on the podcast. And I've had some, I just don't talk to anyone anymore, but I had some women that were going to do it, but then the COVID and thing, but then I thought it'd be kind of funny during the age of diversity and stuff. If let's say I didn't have anyone diverse ever on my podcast, like it's because I'm so irrelevant that I'm just in this whole zone. Like what everyone's trying to do, I'm just doing the opposite of it.
Do it, but that's always sort of been your thing as well, man. It's like you're a trailblazer or a trendsetter or something like that. Because there's not many people out there with mullets right now, but there used to be.
There's a lot of people with mullets now. I think, right?
Well, they're starting to pop up again, but people have mullets back in the day. You know, and it was a thing.
I had when I was 16.
Yeah, and now you've brought it back, but in a way that people are like, this isn't trendy right now. But people are latched on, and now it's trendy again.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
When you do something, you go for it. I'm gonna evolve in this other character where I have like the full comb over.
Dude, get a comb over.
Yeah, gonna make
that means you have to get rid of the mullet.
At some point, yeah. I mean, I have a few characters mapped out on how I'm gonna get to those looks.
Yeah.
It was funny because this last one we did, I was a little bit thinner, and then I was like over the holidays, and I'm like, God, this thing I'm shooting, it's kind of funny if I have a little weight on me. Yeah. I just want to give myself excuses just to eat everything I want. That's what I do on a regular basis. I go back and forth. And
you ride those waves.
Yeah, because it looks funnier, and it's just funny when someone looks. There's a more pathetic human thing going on where it's just kind of not. Yeah. Everything's a little off, but it's subtle enough. Yeah. That you're like, oh. Yeah. It's the perfectly imperfect. That's like a Buddhist phrase.
Perfectly imperfect. Yeah. Yeah. It's
it. Now, how do people follow you on? They want people to follow you on social media.
Composer Dan Heath. Dan Heath Music on Twitter, composer Dan Heath on Instagram.
That's good. Yeah, you want to follow the Dan Heath.
Yeah,
Daniel.
Dan Heath. Yeah.
The man.
Well,
it's so happy. I'm just so happy to see you. It's so exciting. And then I'm just put you on a damn microphone. Yeah. The next thing you know, you're on a podcast.
This is great, man. Last time I was here watching you and Jake do your thing, I had a series of really nasty panic attacks. But I was saying to myself at the time, I was like, it's okay. This is good exposure therapy.
That's right. You were like an audience guest.
Man, I was
first time
in it, man. And it made it worse because I didn't feel like I could breathe or move or make a noise because I was like, I'm going to fuck this up if I do anything. I've just got to stay really. So I was like, am I breathing too loud? And so anyway, it was a really intense night for me. And tonight I've only felt a little bit anxious, or medium anxious as opposed to full-blown panic. So
this evolved.
That's fucking progress right there,
It's a lot of progress.
That's huge.
Well, you are one of life's finest gems. I hope to God you never go back out there into the special psycho world.
Yeah, it's pretty dark out there.
Yeah, you don't need to, because the other side is way too wonderful, and I cannot wait to see the ecstatic dance music that's going to be going down.
Oh man, I really want you to come with me. I know your girlfriend had expressed interest in it too.
Well, we'll do it once if there's ever a world where people can. I think everyone will be like in those big pods.
March. Oh, you think people are going to be in bubbles?
Yeah, everyone's going to just be in hazmat suits. We'll just accept hazmat suit fashion.
What is going on, man? It's really sad, But I've always got like a series of backup plans, just in case it is a hazmat world. I've got other things in store.
We're getting ready for outer space. If we already start wearing space suits now, I think that'll Elon Musk vision to get us all to Mars. That's what the government's trying to do. So the fashion people need to just put this. We need to start. I need to be in a space suit right now. Yeah. That's where the future is, because it won't be the air. Will probably be like we'll have to have regulated heat and stuff, because right now it'll be like 300 degrees outside, and it'll have a suit on.
Or minus 300. One of the two. Yeah.
This way you'll be able to live on, because outer space will be planet Earth.
Yeah. It will be only for the 0.1%.
The ultra. Yeah.
So it'll be like Bill Gates, who's
it'll be Bill Gates, and Giselle Maxwell, and somehow Jeffrey Epstein will be there.
Yeah, he's going back. He's going back for that.
Well, I'm really excited when she gets out of prison and she's going to do her own that model show, Who Wants to Be a Model. Yeah. It's going to be Ghislaine Maxwell, Donald Trump, and Jeffrey Epstein's going to come back. He's like, look, I didn't kill myself. And it's going to be a great show. I predicted that about 2 years from now. Yeah. All the aspiring models. Yeah. The first episode is they got to, they do a massage contest.
Yeah. Dude, we got stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, this is the future.
Entertainment. Yeah.
It's terrible. The world is terrible.
Step it up a notch. Yeah.
People are like, how are we still listening to this?
Yeah. Oh, no, it's crazy. I mean, because the world, you're right, man. I mean, there's a lot of dark, terrible shit, but there's just so much beauty as well.
Yeah.
Man.
If you get past all the madness.
Yeah.
We did it. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You achieved it. We did the podcast. This is wonderful. Thank you all for paying attention. Another episode. We did it.
Yep.